Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am INAYAH.S, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you new construction gone wrong. Several things have been going wrong with this particular house as we have been building it. I have been watching for some time and seeing several things. However, I did not point them out until they were almost done with the home. Family, welcome back to my channel. For those who do not know me, I am INAYAH.S, and in today's video I am going to be sharing with you a buying process. So this is a buying process that we started back in October, and we caught this home in a stage 5. Now, just for those who do not know, back in August we sold our home in our in our community, and we basically sold it because we wanted more yard. Now, the builder that we were with at the time was Perry Homes. Perry has a great product. It's a builder that provides some upgrades in a home that's standard that you probably wouldn't see in other builders. They have a great product. They've been around for a very long time, and I just like their finishes. So anyway, even though I love Perry, we came across a home in our community, same community, in a different section that they had opened up, that had a bigger backyard. I don't know why I did my eyes like that, guys. But anyway, it had a bigger backyard. And so the backyard was the main reason for selling our current home at the time. And so when we came across this home, it was the perfect floor plan. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. It was 2 floors, even though we wanted a 1-story. It had very high ceilings. It had a media room. It had a butler's pantry. It basically had everything on our list that I can just check off. However, even though it was a luxury builder, the home wasn't all that luxury. So we knew going in that we're gonna have to change a lot of things. Things like the fixtures, the fireplace, the island. Basically, even though we had this new construction home, we were gonna have to go in there and make it our own and make it a luxury home. So back in before August and before selling our home, I had a pool contractor come out, and I knew the yard, guys, was extremely too small for a pool. And so he just laughed at me, which is okay because we're still planning on working with these guys in our new home. And so, of course, the yard was extremely too small. And I'll post a picture probably right here, letting you guys see the backyard. But we are going to jump into the video of this footage where I had found this home in a stage 5. Guys, I stand corrected. This is a 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath with a study. Each bedroom has its own bath. Right now, I'm showing you one of the guest bedrooms that is at the right of the entry when you enter the home. And to the left was the home office. At this point, we are no longer in a stage 5 in this video clip because the electrical has been added. As you can see, the light fixtures that I'm showing you that I would not keep because it just doesn't go with the aesthetic of the home that I'm trying to build, as well as the plumbing had been installed at this point. The staircase was going to be black. Here's a closet. I love this curve that the home offered. Great floor plan, guys. I love the floor plan. This is where the island one's going to go. These light fixtures are extremely too small for this home. It was a very large open space with very high ceilings. The fireplace had to go as far as the mountain and the trimming along that boxed it in. I did not like that. This room is amazing. It's pretty large. I'm not sure if it's giving off on the camera. And then it has this amazing tray ceiling, but an ugly ceiling fan that was going to be replaced anyway. That was the primary bedroom. Me showing you the ceilings and the ceiling fan that had to be removed. Again, with the small light fixtures. Now we're moving into the primary ensuite. The light fixtures were nice, but not to my standards. So those were going to be replaced. This hole is where the medicine cabinet goes. Your linen closet, your step-in shower, and a closet. It was one closet, but it was pretty large for the two of us. Although Renee likes to have her own closet, we were going to customize the closet. And it leads into the laundry room. This is one of the greatest features that we loved about the floor plan. And here we are entering into this curved hallway back into the living and kitchen space. Going up these curved stairs. This is the game room space. Another ugly ceiling fan that builder grade. This is where the media is. It's not closed off. However, once we close on the house, we were planning on closing this space off to take away a lot of that natural lighting, giving you that media feel. This hallway leads to the other two guest bedrooms. Here's one bath. Nice walk-in closet. Here's another room that also has its own bath. Walk-in closet as well. The light fixture was going to be changed out. This is the bathroom. They had a vanity on the outside as well inside the bathroom, giving the people from the game room and the media space where they can also wash their hands and whatever they choose to do in that space. Okay, so I had to bring y'all closer in because now I'm about to get y'all the tea, okay? And when I talk to y'all, understand that I'm coming to you. Give me one moment. Understand when I talk to y'all, I'm talking to y'all from a buyer perspective, not from a real estate agent perspective. For those who do not know, I've been a real estate agent for the past 7 years full time. And I'm not going to be speaking from that point of view. I'm speaking to you, well, I guess I am in a sort of way, because I am speaking to you from a professional side, but at the same time from a buyer, someone who's bought a house 3 times. So this will be my 3rd time buying a house, 2nd time building a home. So the first home, I would consider the builder as a starter home for that first home. And then the second one was the inventory home that we bought with Perry. And you know what? I'll show some footage, share some footage with you guys of our Perry home. But the footage that I'm going to be sharing is when we basically empty our house out, because at that point it was the week of closing week. And so this is the footage because I transformed that home back to the way it was when I originally purchased it, from the light fixtures and everything. And then I'll share some clips with you guys on kind of give you what I like as far as the vibe in our home and what I'm going for as far as the aesthetics and the look and how everything comes together. This new home, I'm getting off topic, but I want to do like contemporary. I still want to do the contemporary, but I want to throw in the bohemian look as well. So I'm going to try to merge those two together and see what I can come up with. Anyway. So guys, this is our second home, the inventory home that we bought with Perry. It was a 4-bedroom, 1 office, 3-bathroom house. So to your right is your home office, and as you can see, you have this long entryway. You have glass French doors. All right, Anaya, we get to the point. It's an office. Okay, so then you have a hallway closet, and then you have your guest bedroom, but you can also call it a mother-in-law suite if you choose to, because it had its own bathroom and a closet, a walk-in closet as well. This is the mud area right off the garage. These arches are something that I do not want in my next home. Here you have a pantry, the microwave and oven combination. Your stove top and range is located here. You have your island, which is granite on the top. And then you have some functional cabinetry at the bottom on both sides. It gave you some extra counter space here in the video, if you could see, to your what would be your right. Down this hall is the laundry room. A second guest room. A third guest room. They both should be equal in size. And a guest bathroom. It's a smart home, so you can operate your thermostat from your phone. Okay, and I am moving along. We placed that ceiling fan back, but there was a chandelier there. We had the carpet clean, of course. This is the week of closing, so we want everything to look great for the new homeowner. And then this is the primary ensuite. This particular floor plan offers 2 closets, 2 vanities, 2 separate vanities. This room was a really nice size. So guys, that concludes our previous home. Back to our story. Back to the story. So you guys seen a home. Actually, I need to correct myself because we found that home in August. And we also put our house on the market in August. And so when we found that house in August, we contracted on it. And then we listed our house on the market, and I sold it in 3 days, 3 days, I think 3 days, 3 days. And so anyway, I sold the house within 3 days. Of course, it took 30 days to close, but we sold it in 3 days. So back to the house. So we found the house in a stage 5. Again, be familiar with the language, be familiar with the stages that your builder operates in. However, for the past year, builders have not really gone according to that because of, I'm assuming, due to supplies, when they can get contractors out and things like that. Just be aware that things do change. So, all right, what went wrong? Guys, first I'm going to tell you what went wrong in this process. And then I'm going to share with you this, on this same video footage how I went about resolving the issue and how the issue was not resolved, or how they went about, upper management went about of handling this situation. We're going to get to that. So what was the first thing that went wrong? First of all, guys, let me share with you from a buyer's perspective. Always expect something to go wrong, whether it's delays, whether it's material, whether it's not what you paid for, not what you chose. just know it's a process. Buying new construction is not for everybody. It's definitely not for me. However, there's not a lot of inventory on the market. And let me just be specific. Today this is February. I'm currently recording this in 2022. All this took place in 2021. I didn't upload the footage because it took me a while to get up and going to start this YouTube channel again. So anyway, today's date is February 9th, I do believe, February 9th. And so I'm sharing this story with you guys because I'm going to fast forward and I want you guys to know basically where I'm coming from and basically what happened, what led up to this point. So anyway, what's the first thing that happened? Okay, expect things to happen throughout your building process. I am not sharing this with you for you to go and jump on your sales consultant head and say, hey, da 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 da. No, that's not what I'm telling you to do. But I'm telling you this and sharing this information for you to be informed and for you to be aware. I'm going to use my inside voice now. I want you to be informed and aware of some of the things that you should be checking before closing on your house, because you do not want to close. You do not want someone to tell you, oh, it's going to hold up closing, so you should do this after closing. No, you want to take care of these things prior to closing, okay? So again, expect things to happen throughout the building process. They're going to fix it. But in this situation, I just seen too many things that just was not adding up. It was poorly done. Okay, let me say this before I start sharing pictures as well as footage. Let me say this. First of all, we paid $320,000. Okay, $320,000 for our first home in that community. We found another home through another builder. And guys, when I first started doing, oh, you know what? I forgot to turn on my light. I'm sorry, guys. When I first started recording this footage, I shared the builder's the builder name and everything. I was going to be as transparent as possible. But when things went this wrong, and I'm going to be sharing, I don't think at this point I want to disclose that information. If you see and you notice who the builder is, hey, all right, it is what it is. But for the most part, I'm just not going to throw their name out there because I don't want to throw them under the bus. And I'm sharing a lot of information with you guys as far as this process. So I'd rather not say the builder at this point, okay? So anyway, it's a different builder. This builder is supposed to be a luxury home builder, okay? Now, remind you that the house we're buying at this point in this footage is listed at, and I'm sharing numbers, guys, it is listed at $739,900. Did you hear me? $739,000, okay, at this point. That's what the house is listed for. We contracted on this house at $690. I want to say $690, okay? Now, even though this is a luxury builder, we were not getting luxury quality, okay? Now, what I did was I compared their $700,000 home compared to a $500,000 home compared to $1 million home. In this community, we were not in the millions this past, well, not last year, but the year before. In 2019, like I said, I bought my house at $320. Towards the middle of 2020, that house had, they had an increase, but like between like 50, 60,000. And then by 2021, they had increased by 100,000, over 100,000 in that particular community. So a house that you could get in a section for 500 had went up in 2020 by maybe 100, 200 grand. But at this point in 2021, that house had increased to the millions. Okay. So just keep in mind, The houses have went up in today's market. Okay. So we had negotiated a house down to 690,000. Okay. And we had an incentive that we were given, that they were offering with this builder, which was 20,000. Me buying a home, I want to calculate in what kind of type of mortgage I'm looking for, what I want to pay monthly. Okay. And so with that being said, I wanted, in order to get the monthly payment that we wanted, we needed to buy down to a 2.5 interest rate. So what did we do with that $20,000 incentive? We bought our interest rate down from 3.2 to 2.5. All right. So that's what we did with the incentive. So anyway, moving on, what happened? Okay. The first thing that I started noticing throughout our building process, now I'm going to be sharing footage with you. Everything looks like it's going great to a buyer's eye. It looks like you're so focused on, oh, it's a beautiful floor plan. Look at this, look at that. I'm in love. I can't wait to close. Guys, I apologize. For most of this clip of this video, you won't have any sound. I do apologize, but I've been using my phone because all of my cameras are actually in our storage. Therefore, I don't have access to them because I'm too lazy to go look for them. So guys, in this video, you can see some of the flaws as well. But the construction manager had noticed it, so you can see what the blue X's are. If there's a blue X, it's something that they noticed that needs to be fixed. I had spotted this the week before, but it looks like he had caught it, so no problem. The light fixture I'm showing you is actually placed on the wall, crooked. This is one of the things that I do to make sure there's nothing really wrong with the plumbing. I stop the tub up and then I run the water to see if the water is going to drain out properly or if it's drains slowly. In this particular clip, the plumbing problem had already been fixed because the prior to this, the water wouldn't drain. Well, it would, but very, very extremely slow. So now I'm just checking the plumbing around the house, flushing toilets, running water. There was some squeaking here that I noticed prior, but it looks like they caught it. Guys, in this video, if you look at the walls, this is not due to natural lighting. This is bad paint job. It's blotchy. If you could see where they fixed like a hole or patched up something to the naked eye or to the eye, you shouldn't be able to see things like that. So that was one of the things that I pointed out to the construction manager, that the walls were not painted properly and that they needed to be repainted, the entire home. That's where that squeaking was. You can see that there was an issue here, bad patching. Again, you can see the walls were needing a complete paint job. I love the floor. Okay, I don't get caught up on the hype. Okay, I just don't. Okay, this is my third home. I'm not going to get caught up on that. First of all, as a realtor and having experience closing with a lot of buyers who bought new construction, I know what to look for. And I'm a very detailed person anyway, so my eye draws to certain things that probably most people eye wouldn't draw to. Okay, so I'm starting to see little things. Okay, things are starting adding up. I'm like, at this point, Anaya, they're not finished. Give them time. So a month, about a couple of weeks go by, maybe 4 to 5 weeks go by, and I'm still seeing certain things. And we're about, at this point, 2 weeks away from closing. So my sales consultant is out on leave at this point. He's down for about a week or two, maybe a week. I might be exaggerating on the 2 weeks, but I know he's gone for quite some time. I think that he was supposed to be going for a week, but he ended up extending it, and maybe, I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. Okay. But at this point, let's point out the first thing that I saw. One of the first things that I saw was the plumbing. I have a clip that I'm going to show you guys where I'm checking the plumbing, but at this point it's been fixed, so I could cross it off my list. But at first there was a problem with the draining in the guest bedroom bath downstairs. It was going down really, really slow, but I think in the clip is a clip that I'm going to be showing you guys where they have fixed it. Okay, so this is the clip that I'm going to be showing you guys. But at this point, again, they have fixed it. So that's the first thing I saw, that the plumbing was a little bit, had a little bit of problems. The second thing that I had saw was that they were throwing this house together. Okay, a house. Keep in mind that you're asking $739,000 for, even though that's not what we would be paying, but that's what they were asking for. And guys, even though this is a luxury builder, they are basically putting everything that they would put in $1 million home in this $700,000 home. And I'm like, guys, for a luxury builder, this is unacceptable. Like, my $700,000 house shouldn't look the same as a $500,000 house. And it should not look the same as a $1 million home in this community, because you would think for $1 million, you're getting more for your money. But unfortunately, that was not the case. We got the same fixtures. We got the same flooring. It's just unacceptable, you know, for me, in my opinion. Like, we should not have the same things in our home. And so, again, I got it at a stage 5. So I was not able to go to the design center. I was not able to change anything at this point. I had to go with the selections that were already pre-ordered for this particular home. Okay. So anyway, the second thing I started noticing was, the third thing I started noticing was, okay, guys, I was interrupted by my daughter anyway, we're not even going to go into that. So the first thing was the plumbing in the guest bathroom. The second thing, I don't think I touched on that, but the second thing was that there were a lot of, let's talk about the exterior. The mortar, which is the product that they put in between the bricks to seal them, was sloppy. The mortar was sloppy. The design bricks that they chose for this particular home was a brick that was, the design of it was like broken. Like, it was a broken brick, and that was just the style of it. However, I didn't understand why they chose this particular brick to go on a house that they were asking so much money for. So the brick was a bad brick, and I'm going to post the picture right here so you guys can see. It was just a horrible brick. And again, I don't know why they chose this particular brick. And then the mortar was just, it was bad. The ceiling of it was just bad. At this point, they're just throwing the house together, okay? Even in the backyard, and I'll post another picture of the backyard, it was still a mess, okay? So at this point, I'm not saying anything. I'm giving them opportunity to clean it up. Again, I'm not saying anything. I'm giving an opportunity to clean it up at this point, even though 5 weeks ago, this is the same situation we had, and here we are with the same issue. The third thing was when I went into the inside. Oh, the third thing was still on the exterior of the home. The trimming of the house, there was some defects in it, and I can't quite remember what they are, but I'm going to post a picture or video, whatever footage that I have. I'm going to share that with you guys as well. So the exterior of the house just looked poor. And then I have to find a picture, guys, because I end up having to give money for a change that they made on the design exterior of this home. Okay, it wasn't functional, it wasn't logic, it just didn't make any sense. So the light fixtures, and you're probably going to see a footage of a light fixture inside the house on the floor. I had to pay a $500 change fee for them to change, to remove one of the exterior lights of the home, light fixtures, to the end of the garage, on the opposite side of the garage where the address was. Why wouldn't you have that space, that light, the address well lit at night so people can see where they're going? And then secondly, why would you squeeze it in a corner where it just didn't go and did not make sense? That did not make sense to me, guys. Okay, it just didn't make sense at all. So that was the other thing. The exterior of the home. Now, guys, at this point, I'm not even going to try to use numbers because I'm just going to get confused and don't remember, and I'm just going to be all out of order. So the next thing was going into the home. There was, near the butler pantry, there was a crack on the light fixture. Minor, okay, no problem. Then the microwave area wasn't properly cut. Once they put the microwave in, there was a gap on one end. Okay, that didn't make sense to me. I honestly believe that the construction manager, all the things that I'm pointing out, he had multiple opportunities to tape off with the blue tape. When they see a problem or something that needs to be fixed, they put blue tape there to say, okay, we need to have someone to come out, a contractor to come out and fix this, okay? So as time gone by, I'm not seeing that happen with the things that I saw. And then remember that my sales consultant is on not vacation, but he's out due to illness or whatever. So I'm not disturbing him because he's out, okay? So anyway, time goes on, and then I go into the house, and at this point, I'm just going to share some footage with you guys to point some things out, and I'll be back. Guys, I want to point out this poor design decision. This arch for this home, I think there's just a lot of squareness going on, so I thought a square door would look better. So guys, bear with me because there are some minor things that I would like to show you in this part of the video. Such as this door, this entry door, you can see how the mortar and the cut of the brick is just poorly, not necessarily poorly laid. However, it's the cut of the brick, and so it's just a poor design brick that they chose for this particular floor plan. It's a 2-story home, so it's all over. I do apologize, but I was having some difficulties getting inside of the door. So, of course, the office. So nothing really here in the office is wrong. There was a cracked door, but I think they had already noticed it and replaced it. There's a light fixture I was telling you about. Guest bedroom number 1. This is the guest bathroom that I was telling you that had the drainage problem. At this point, it had been fixed. Now, some of you think I'm probably being very particular or anal. However, things like this, it bothers me. Now, remember this window frame right here, because I'm going to address that later on in this video. But they had already told me about the trimming of the floor, that it wasn't going to be perfect. I did bring it to their attention, but they did state it wouldn't be perfect. I said, okay, fine. But when it came to this trimming, it was unacceptable. I'm not paying $690,000 for a house, and this is poorly trimmed out. It looks like a piece of puzzle that they just placed there. Here's where I was talking about the microwave. You guys can see the little gap right there. I'm actually pointing at it. I like all the natural lighting that this house gave. I thought that was beautiful. Some of you are probably saying, Anaya, those things are minor. It's a beautiful home, you know, but unfortunately it was just too much going on. Here, there's a lot of damage to the windows, inside and outside. Again, bad painting. Now, even though I've seen all these things that I myself would consider minor and can be touched up, I noted to the construction manager as well as the salesperson that there were a lot of things that I wanted them to come out and see, which I considered minor and major in my opinion. This one being one of them, one of the minor things. This drawer should not be able to open all the way. That border right there from that window was stopping it from opening all the way. Things like this was unacceptable for myself or any other buyer. For a house that I'm paying $600K for, I just don't expect to have that bottom tub like that. That's something I would find in an apartment. Okay, guys, so I'm back. So those were a couple of minor things. Oh, the view. Okay, okay, it's over here now. So those are a couple of minor things. And let me turn on this light. I had to return this because this is not lasting very long. But anyway, so those are the things that, those are minor things that I noticed in the home that I would notice for myself or any other buyer. So some of the major things that I want to touch up on. Okay, so one of the things that I like to do, or any buyer should do, okay, when you're building new construction, just because it's a brand new house doesn't mean that contractors don't sometimes poorly do things or do things correctly, okay? I highly recommend that you still do an inspection on your home. That's number one, please. Always do an inspection on your home, whether it's a resale or a newly built house. You will still find several things wrong with your home. And then a lot of the builders give like a 2-year constructional, no, it's a 10 constructional warranty, but a 2-year like handyman or handy workmanship or something like that. So within that 2 years, you don't want to wait to the very end. Well, we kind of do. Actually, I would wait at least 3 months prior to, maybe 6 months prior to that expiring, that expiration date, to have an inspector come out and inspect the home, and then have the submit the warranty request for them to come out and fix those things the second time around. So most importantly, always do an inspection on your home, okay? So me, being one of the things that I do is that when it rains, I think it's important to do like a walkthrough, even if it's just you on your own, to do a walkthrough of your home when it rains as well as when it's dry. And I'm talking about kind of like in the final stages at this point, because you don't want to close on a home and then find out there's things wrong after the fact. One, an inspector might not catch this, and the construction manager or the contractors may not catch it, because For one, it's not raining. It's a dry day, so you don't realize that the windows are not properly sealed. In that last clip, I was telling you guys to remember those windows, and there's a reason why. Because of the simple fact that when it rained during that time, it was, I think, in August. October. October. Remember, we contracted in August. The house was building. At this point, we were supposed to close in October. So I think in October is when it rained. I believe it rained in October, if I understand correctly. And I was out at the property. Actually, I wasn't out at the property, being that I was going to go, but being that my old neighbor was in the community, I asked her to stop by and see what improvements have been done, where there are as far as in the process, has anything new been updated or whatever. So she noted that there was water in the window frame. So I'm going to post a picture here of the water, and then I'm going to post a picture of when it dried up, how it left damage. It was damaged to the framing, the paint there in that those particular windows. And it was right there where the formal dining room was. All four, I believe there's three or four windows there. And it rained and caused damage or whatever. So you want to make sure that you go out on a rainy day, guys. Just check the window sills. Make sure that they're sealed properly. You don't want to close, and then you have to address those issues at that point. So that was one of the other things that we had a problem with. So let me talk about this a little bit. So even after all these things that I'm pointing out, I'm overlooking, I bring it to their attention, I expect for them to fix it, because a builder will fix it. I'm not saying don't trust that they won't, because they will. If you notice it, they will fix it, okay? If they can't, they will communicate that to you. However, if they can, they will fix it, okay? Like, things that they couldn't do to fix for me was like that trimming on the floor. They couldn't flush that trimming completely to the floor, and they told me that as far as up front when I asked them about it. I said, okay, fine, but like I showed y'all in that video clip, that some of that stuff was unacceptable. Like that piece that looked like it had just been placed there. Like, that's unacceptable. I'm not paying that much money for anything, and you give me that type of quality. It's just unacceptable. So after seeing all these things, and a lot of the things, especially with the cut of the brick, the mortar, there was a lot of things I just wasn't happy about. And again, I knew at this point that the construction manager wasn't going to catch it. So I asked to meet. I called the corporate office and I asked to meet with the manager over the construction manager. Because at this point, I need to speak to somebody over his pay grade. And y'all gonna hear me use it a lot. When I get to a point where I'm heated, I'll be like, let me speak to somebody over your pay grade, because apparently we're not getting anywhere, okay? So I use it a lot. So it may be rude or bad, guys, but you'll hear me use it a lot. So I want to speak to somebody above his pay grade, and as well as the sales counselor pay grade. I didn't hold anything against the sales counselor, because he had been great throughout the process. He had been patient with me, because, guys, I'm one of those people. I want what I want. I want, if I'm paying my money for it, I want it how I want it, because I'm paying for it how I want it. But he was great. He was patient with me. I am the type of buyer that nobody wants to deal with, including myself. Okay. So anyway, I let them know that I need to speak with someone. So I scheduled a meeting with the manager, and he came out and met me at the property. First of all, he greeted me, and I wanted to, I went there for business, guys. I wanted to get some, my problem solved. I wanted a solution to what we were going to do. And this is how it went down. So he greeted me or whatever. I said, let's start with the exterior. I said, let's start with the exterior of the house. I pointed out these things that was wrong with the exterior of the house. He either waited till I finished or he cut me off. I can't recall. And then he said, Miss Simmons, please understand that the house isn't finished. I said, I know it's not finished. However, from what I'm being told, I'm supposed to close in a week. Okay. He was like, no, you're not closing a week. That's impossible for you to close in a week. The house is not even finished. And I'm like, well, why is it being communicated to me? Okay, nevertheless, whatever. So I show him things on the exterior of the home, and he goes over the cut of the brick. I told him I've even been to different communities. Most of the houses in those communities that they had chose to use their brick on was a one-story house. Unfortunately, this is a two-story house. And in those particular communities, they were not the price point of the community that I was living in. Like, those houses range from twos to less than 500,000. So to use that on a house of this amount of money, such a large price point, I did not understand. And I explained that to him. It wasn't logic, and it was a poor design decision. So the other things I pointed out was the roofing that you guys seen at this point on the trimming, how the flap was up. I already knew that was going to be in the inspection report, which it was. The other thing was the paint. Okay. So when we get into the house, I show him all the other things that are downstairs that I showed you guys in the video. And then we make our way up to the top. And I told him that one of the things that I have a huge issue with was the paint job of the whole entire home. I asked if he could, and let me state that at this point, the construction manager had joined us at this point. And so he had stated that, why should I paint the entire home, Inayah? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm dealing with a clown. Okay, you look like a clown, but now you're acting like a clown. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I'm not listening to anything he's saying. It's going one ear after the other. And I'm thinking to myself, why don't your belt match your shoes? This is what I'm thinking the whole time this man is talking, because he's not making sense to me. So I tune back in at this point, and I hear, why should I paint this wall when there's nothing wrong with this wall, but there's only something wrong with this wall? So I'm just going to paint this wall, is what he tells him. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? And he's like, why should I? I say, you are in construction. You're in new home sales. You're asking all this money for this house. Why wouldn't you want to paint it? One, it's not going to be consistent. It's not going to be flawless throughout the home. If you overpaint this wall and you do nothing for this wall, it's just going to look like this wall is probably going to be flawless, but then it's not consistent with every other wall that's in the house that needs to be painted. Like, the paint job was horrible, extremely bad. As you guys can see, there were blotches. You can see where they tried to patch up holes in the wall. It was just horrible. And this man was asking me, why should he have to paint the entire home? So he told me no, he wasn't painting the entire home. So then I had noted that while we were upstairs, that the floor, I noticed that they had noticed that there was squeaking on the floor, and I seen where they were fixing it because of the blue tape. However, there's another spot in the house they did not catch that had the squeaky floor. I'm buying a brand new house. This house should not be squeaking like that. It was not built in the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. There's no reason why this house should be squeaking like that. So he just said, noted, they'll fix it. Okay. The other things he said they were fixed. So I brought it to his attention of the frames. A lot of the things I was bringing to his attention, he had excuses for. He tried to give me a reason of why they shouldn't fix it, okay? At this point, guys, I'm all about customer service. That is what makes me stand out from anyone else. The level of service that I bring to my client. At this point, I am a problem solver, okay? I am going to find a solution. I'm just not going to turn you away and give you all kind of excuses of why, unless I have used all my resources that I could in order to not gain you the solution. Not the solution you want necessarily, but a solution to the problem. And in this situation, they were not trying to offer me any solutions other than they're going to paint that one wall when there were several walls in the house that needed to be painted. Okay. So now I'm painting out, showing the frames of the windows, how they need to be replaced. I'm going over the water damage and the water that leaked into the house that they wouldn't have caught. And at this point, the construction manager opens his mouth. He cuts me off and he says, what? What you expect for us to do? See, you trying to show us something, but you don't have any regulation. What did he say? Not regulation. What I'm trying to say, you don't have any, I'm sorry guys, I forgot the term, but you don't have any regulation the word I'm trying to use, y'all. Comment in the comment box because you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, he was like, you don't even know what you're talking about. I say, excuse me, first of all, wait a minute. I say, first of all, I'm sorry, y'all, my phone was ringing. I'm not the one who noted it. My wife did. So in order for me to reference something somebody else said, I need to pull up my receipts. So if you give me time, sir, I will do that. He was like, well, you don't even know what you're talking about. You out here showing, telling my manager, making me look bad, like I don't do my job and I don't know what I'm doing. And I said, excuse me. I say, excuse me. First of all, I'm the buyer. I'm the one that should be emotional. However, I'm not. I'm keeping cool, calm, and collect. Second of all, I need you to understand I'm not here to point fingers, okay? I never once pointed a finger to you, said you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. That's the second thing. Third of all, I'm not going to stand here for you to talk to me like you crazy. Nevertheless, let your manager stand here and listen to you talking to me crazy. And of course, y'all, I didn't raise my voice. I stayed calm because I didn't want them to say I was an angry black woman, okay? So at this point, I'm keeping my calm and I'm saying everything I'm saying, but I'm telling it to you how I'm saying it in my head. And I was just upset at this point that they were talking to me like that. I said, you know what? Forget this house. I say, F this house. I say, F this house. At this point, I cursed. I say, F this house. Y'all can keep this house. I don't want to have anything to do with this house. I'm not closing on this house. I say, you don't want to come and meet me halfway. You don't want to compromise. You don't want to help me figure out a solution. You basically just turning everything down and making excuses for any and everything that the mistake that was made dealing with this house. That was it. I go home. I talk to my wife about what happened. She was upset that I was talked to that way, but she said, Inaya, let's go ahead and go through with the house because we put so much money into it and I'm ready to close. At this point, y'all, during that time, we were living in a hotel. We had been in a hotel for 2 months, living out of a hotel. And so I said, okay, fine. I say, Renee, I'm going to swallow my pride and I'm going to move forward with this process. Okay. And so we move forward, but I called corporate and I wanted to speak with somebody above his pay grade because I was not happy with the way that I was treated. And y'all, this sometimes brings tears to my eyes because I just don't treat people like this, okay? And it did something to me. I was not respected, 1, as a buyer, 2, as a realtor, 3, as a woman. And I just felt like I was just disrespected, okay? And so anyway, we were still moving forward, okay? Same situation with those shoes. If you didn't see the video about the LV shoes, the Louis Vuitton shoes, go and watch it, okay? So anyway, after that whole situation, and then my wife said move forward, I said, okay, fine. A couple of days go by, and I went out to check on the house. No one had contacted me. No one had called me. I haven't heard from anyone at this point. But when I go out to the house, this is what breaks the camel's back. That said, I'm done. I'm pulling out. I'm just done with this. Watch this clip. Okay, guys, I had to take out the sound because I end up using the salesperson's name. But if you're watching the clip, you can see water gushing out because under the entire floor in the kitchen, there's water seeping from under the floor. You can hear it as you walk on it like a water bed. All it's going is squish, squish, squish. You can see that there's a hole in the wall. And they said that they wouldn't have caught this because of the simple fact that it took a while for it to, I guess, build up. They're saying that a contractor accidentally cut one of the water lines, okay? And this is what happened. So you can't hear the water, but you can definitely see the water coming out of the floor. And even in the places where I'm not, where you don't see water coming from that I'm stepping, there is still water. You can hear the water under the floor, even though it's not seeping up yet, as of yet. So the floor begins to buckle in other areas. A little over an hour long. So let's wrap this up. So that happened. As you've seen in that clip, the pipes had leaked water. The pipeline had been cut, so it had leaked water. Per the construction manager, water had been leaking over a period of time, and that was the result of it. The results of it. So, with that being said, I hadn't heard from anybody, and so I went to talk to the sales consulting. I cannot even speak. The sales counselor, and like I said, he wasn't in, so I spoke with the one who was there, and she said she had no idea what was going on. So I stuck around because I seen the construction manager, and of course he acted like he didn't know who I was or see me, and I stopped him in his tracks and I asked him about it. Nice and kind. He was like, even after everything him and I had been through. And he spoke in a nice tone voice, letting me know, it's just, it happened. And so it's going to delay the closing process. And I said, okay, thank you so much and have a nice day. But of course, at that point, I discussed it with my wife and we decided not to move on in this particular buying process because so much had just went completely wrong from the light fixtures. Something as simple as the light fixtures weren't not flush, not the light fixtures, but the plating. I have a plate here, like you guys can see it. Maybe if I tilt it a little bit, like the platings here, they weren't flush to wall. And here I am in an apartment, and even here they're flush to the wall. And so I just expect more from a luxury builder. So anyway, after being in a hotel for 2 months, we finally just gave up. We were paying a little over $1,000 a month. We finally gave in and just said, hey, let's just move it into an apartment. So we moved into an apartment, and we've been here since October. Since we didn't close in October, we've been here. And yeah, so we've been here all this time. And I'm like, at that time, I was like, whatever. If I have to wait a year to buy a house, I'll wait a year. I'll wait till the market change and blah, 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 blah. Needless to say, we only did an 8-month lease, and I'm already looking for a home. I wanted to do inventory. I did not want to build from the ground up because that's just not for me. However, guess what, guys? We're building a home. We contracted back in December. Matter of fact, December 15th. That's my daughter's birthday. We contracted December 15th. I decided that we were going to stick with the original builder that we wanted to go with in the first place because they have a great product. And I know what their finishes are like. I know what the quality of their homes are like. Like I said, they give you stuff in the home standard that most builders would not do. I think it's more of a luxury home than the builder that we were originally going with that last time. However, I will go over everything in the next video. But if you want to know the ending to everything that happened with that last house, just know we got all our money back. Simple as that. We got all our money back. And that's all I need to say on that. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching the whole video if you watched the whole video. If not, for skipping over and still watching part of the video. I really appreciate it, guys. Hopefully we'll be having more videos coming out pretty soon. I think the next video I'm going to share with you guys is maybe the design center or tips on when you're building new construction, some of the things to look for. Or, I don't know, I have so many ideas that I'm going to be bringing to you guys here on YouTube and on this platform. So just stay tuned, okay, guys? So the next video, I'm probably going to show you a empty floor plan, the floor plan that we're building, and give you more in that backstory of what's going on with that process. But anyway, guys, as always, I'm INAYAH.S, and I am signing off. Stay tuned to the next video.